Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Okay, so how is my royalty? How are you guys doing? Make sure you have some petty tea because, yeah, I'm going to try to get into this video, but I'm also going to be talking more about standards and doctrinization and all that fun stuff because, yeah, but because I keep thinking about the LGBTQ community and how MAGA is they keep being so harmful and just bigoted towards them, while the Republican MAGA people are the ones that keep getting arrested for doing the same exact thing that they're accusing the LGBTQ community, especially the trans community, of doing. Yeah, why is that? How come you guys are the ones that keep getting arrested and charged and accused of that kind of thing? Because just last week there was another guy who was accused or got caught trying to pick up a 14-year-old boy. Yeah, how come? How come? Yeah, but you guys keep blaming that on the LGBT. So yeah, I'm just gonna mind my business. But no, I'm not. I'm not. You already know I'm not. But okay, how come? Like even like with politics, with the debates and things like that. Like told you in the first episode or whatever, like a lot of these guys, whenever I brought up LGBTQ, oh, why are you talking about those stupid people? Why are you talking? They don't matter. Blah. It's just like, hold up, as a mega, all lives matter, right? They're they're people. They're living people, so their lives matter, right? All, all means everyone. Yeah. But it's like a lot of people, what MAGA Republicans really mean is all white, cis, straight men matter. That's what they mean by all lives matter. And they want to include some women because that's the only way they're going to be able to make more men. But yeah, what they real because okay, they keep saying that LGBTQ plus community are the ones that are indoctrinating society or whatever. But when you have red pill men telling men how to be a man, like who are they supposed to be and all this other stuff. But like while growing up in elementary school, we used to have those worksheets that say, be you. What makes you special? It's like, be who you want to be. We used to get that, but over the years, you kind of find out it's lies. Especially in America, that's basically a lie. No, they don't want you to be who you want to be. They want to make you who they think you're supposed to be. Because especially with religion, it's like we have these red pill Republican men. This is how you drink out of a straw. This is how you sit down. This is how every man is supposed to be like that. That's in the okay. How come they put down LGBTQ plus community for just minding their business, loving who they want to love, living their lives, minding doing what they want to do? But then you have these men on social media who are literally telling these men what to think, how to do the actions, how to treat women. It's like, isn't that the exact thing that they're accusing the LGBTQ community of doing? And just if you see an LGBTQ plus couple hold hands or hug or even kiss for a quick second, oh my gosh, that's indoctrinate. Like, no, what? But then trying to tell these men how to be men, who they're supposed to be as men, isn't that exactly what they are accusing? You know? Yeah, isn't it? Isn't it? Oops. Okay, so I had to say that and everything, especially after finishing part one, because with a lot of the topics that were in this video, and I thought it was so interesting because one topic after another, I was like, yes, yes, because it's like it was just the truth. And part of it even talked about the male epidemic and things. And yes, it's something that we need to take care of. But while we take care of that, I feel like we need to take care of the conflicts of cultures, because during like the 80s and everything, while they were uplifting women and telling women, you can be who you want to be, you can have a career, you can be educated, you just don't have to be in the house. And but at the same time, the church was teaching women, stay in the house, raise the kids, like like treat your husband like gold. And it's like, but biblical, religious, Christian values and things like that. And those things kind of conflicted, because even at my church, our pastor and bishops, the way that they kind of hint and teach about the woman staying at home until the kids are in school, all of their kids are in school and everything. I'm not doing that. No. It's like I would get daycare, or if I can work from home. But now it's like, because okay, with Doge and like at the beginning of this Orange guy's second presidency and everything like that, the one like they want people to not be able to work from home. Why? Because that part of my opinion is they want to make sure women were not going to be able to stay at home with their kids, because that would force some women to quit their jobs, because it's like, if they can no longer work at home, and now the kids, you know, there's, especially if their kids are 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 years old, or infants or newborns or whatever, it's like all of a sudden they would need to get daycare, and some of them won't be able to afford daycare, and or daycare would be more costly than it would if they just stayed home. That's kind of part of my opinion of why they did that, because they're trying to make sure more men are able to have that American dream of capturing a woman and keeping her basically as property, making her do all of the things he doesn't want to do, making her basically a, and like kind of like a servant. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of sad, but I mean, that's just kind of my opinion. But when you look at what they're doing now, especially with education and the nurses' degrees, teaching and things like that, I'm paying attention at the whole picture. I'm looking at all the steps of what they're doing. I've read like a lot of Project 2025, and it's scary. It's appalling. It's despicable and just full of, yeah. And so, when it comes to the minimum wage, when it comes to working from home, when it comes to just like so many of the different things that they're doing, it's like they're trying to get men back into the identity that they crave so much, because they want to be able to have that type of relationship as their fathers and grandfathers, where the women had no choice, they had to marry. Because a lot of these men, instead of working on themselves, instead of working on how can I be a better man, how can I be a quality man, no, they don't want to be quality men. They just want a woman to feel like they have to be with them. What's love got to do with it? Because years ago, men had exactly what they wanted. They got to work their jobs, and the women stayed home. And a lot of them ended up cheating on them, doing them wrong, hurting them, etc., etc. And the woman cooked and cleaned and took care of him, basically like he was a grown child. Mm, yeah. And now a lot of these guys, like, now a lot of women are independent enough to the point where if a man even tried, we can walk out that door so quickly because we have our own finances. And this is one reason why a lot of men are upset at me, because when, like, if we do match or talk or whatever, or even while I was debating and I would talk about investing because that's one of my standards. You must have some type of investments. I don't have a minimum. So many men, oh, so you just want rich men. I didn't say you had to have a lot in the investments. I just said you had to have investments. Because do you know how many men I have dated were to the point where they had no money? They hardly had a penny, but then they wanted me. It's like they said that they were not going to help me. They were not going to loan any money to me. They were not going to support me in any which way. Like, whatever. But then all of a sudden, they need gas money from me. They want help from me with my investment money. They want me to take out money so that we, or really they, could go on a cruise or a trip. They would say that I was stupid for having that money in an account to grow. And they would say that they wanted uh, their shoes. They wanted me to take out money so that they can get new shoes. And then they said they were going to pay me back. But when I said, okay, I'll create a contract for that. You don't need no contract. You're so stupid. That's dumb. You're going to make me have sign a contract over some shoes? Sure am. After Mr. Lockakey and Mr. No Heart, yes, I am. Yes. Mm-hmm. Sure will. Oh, and I'm letting everybody, men and women, have a contract. Have a contract. Watch people's court. Come on now. Guys, pay it. Like, come on. And the thing is, like, even with, like, when you're dating, you think, oh, he'll pay me back and blah, blah, blah. No. Yeah, Mr. Lockakey said, remember, if you've been listening to my episodes, you already know about Mr. Lockakey because I never want to date him. But yeah, go back, watch, listen how he literally forced me to be his girlfriend. Literally forced me to be his girlfriend. But then when I finally was able to break up with him, but I wanted my money back, he told me that in order for me to get my money, I had to get back with him and I would have to sleep with him a certain amount of times and it had to be of quality. If it didn't meet his requirements, then I would have to redo it and do it again. And if I didn't make up my mind within 2 weeks, he was going to double the parameters of what I would have to do in order to get my money. Yeah, yeah. These are the type of men we have out here. And it's funny though, because a lot of these men, I think Lakaki was so upset because I could break up with him just like that. And like, I was still with Lakaki. I was still on hard times. I was working, but I was still like, just finished grad school well, just finished my second master's. So trying to get into the career place, but yeah, DEI was still not my friend because people would see how I walk, or they see that I was black, or see I was a female, and things like that. And uh, people who are hiring, they still wanted, like, it's crazy how many job interviews, because that's one reason why I stopped applying for jobs off of Craigslist, because so many of those male bosses wanted me to sleep with them in order to get the job. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of them was around 40 to 60. Yeah, there was one of the jobs that was $40,000 a year, but it was like 2 or 3 paid vacations that came with the job or whatever, which is amazing. And then another one was $60,000 a year. But then, oh yeah, there was another job that I did not get because they said that I spelled my name wrong. That's how stupid, naive, and ignorant and bigoted some of these companies are, because they said my name is so unique that I must have spelled it wrong, or that I'm incapable, or whatever, whatever. They usually, like, so when people say they're against DEI, they don't know how stupid, ignorant, and bigoted they are, because they don't understand the situations that certain people like come across when it comes to applying for jobs. But yeah, anyway. And so, to the point of, I feel like, yes, we need to work on the male epidemic and everything, but we also need to work on allowing the two, like the female independence, the female ability and capabilities and education to collide with this, like with the male population. We need to show both sides of the coin, and we need to teach them both how you both can be leaders, you both can be powerful, you both can be educated, you both can be amazing. Yes, men, you want to be able to have the household and things like this, but here are some leadership skills, to the point where you're still treating your woman like she's a woman, like she's human, like she is like an even adult, like she deserves the respect, the dignity, and things like that that you expect. Okay, it's like you're not treating her like a maid. So it's like part of me just feels like with the epidemic that's going around, and with the loneliness and the red pill and everything like that, it's like the red pill people are so determined to make sure that men are not going to be able to handle the women of today, Generation Z and A. They want to make sure that they even change what they teach in the textbooks. Oh, did you guys hear about that? Did you guys hear about that? Yes, I'm going to get to this video. Probably going to be a part 3, whatever. But now, MAGA 2025, oh, people, the Project 2025 people, in the textbooks, they want to change the wording of slavery to indentured servants. Yeah, or involuntary workers. Yeah, that's what they want to do. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then also with national parks, it will no longer be free Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day and or Juneteenth, but it will be free on the Orange Man's birthday. But then the MAGA people want to keep saying, why are you going to have a protest? We don't have a king. He's not a king. You guys are so stupid. Do you see what he's doing? Okay, the protest is so we don't have a king. The protest is for like you're trying to make sure that it does not happen. We are voicing and shouting from the rooftop that we don't want one, but his demographic are still that dumb where in order to protest you have to have already had what happened. Oh, that's not how protests work. That's not how protests work. Ah. And it's because even if you watch the sit-ins and even the women's movement for voting and independence and things like that, it's like sometimes you fight because you want change. And right now, our society wants change because we see the pattern within the White House. We see how he is trying to be king. We see how he's trying to have so much power. We see how he is making millions, if not billions of dollars in the White House while president, while so many people are going hungry. In the video, those long lines, yeah, that's because of his quote unquote leadership, his presidency, his laws or whatever he's trying to do. Yes. Yes. And so also the male epidemic, like with everything that the orange guy is doing that is harming women, because especially the Republicans are like, we're about women because we care about the bathrooms, we care about the sports, and like, okay. But then they want to say all lives matter, but it's like, okay, so with the LGBTQ plus community, with the trans community, how are we going to make sure they are safe? But they don't want to make sure they're safe. They just want to outlaw it. They want to make it illegal. They don't care about them. But then they say all lives matter. They say all lives matter, but then when it comes to the African American community, it's like, again, look what he's doing with certain holidays and things. And it's like, look at how quickly he wants to fire black people with leadership roles. And look at what a lot of his demographics say about black people. If they saw a black pilot, or if they saw a black, their surgeon was black, they don't think that they would be able to do the job as well, because they say they only got the job because of DEI. It's like, do you know how insulting? But then they say they're not racist. Then they say they're not bigots. But then they say, you guys just use racism for everything. No, you're a racist. Honey, boo boo. Like, no, you're a racist. I know you don't like sipping that tea, but yeah, you're sipping the bigotry tea, honey. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't have any honey in it. Trust me. It's as bitter as your racist, no good, heartless soul. Yeah, that's what it tastes like. Yes. But a lot of them don't like that. Yeah, they don't want to be called racist, but they want to be allowed to have their racist views, but then also treat people racist. They want to be able to say so many awful, terrible, uneducated, racist things, but they don't want to be called racist. But then they want to turn around and call me racist because I won't date a Republican. Republican is not a race. Do you know how many of these mega white Republican men had the nerve to call me racist because I won't date them? Do you know how stupid that is? Oh, and then they call me part of the Nazi party for being a Democrat. It's like, hold up, wait. The alt right groups are all on your side. When Elon did that salute, you guys were behind him doing it as well. On tape, on video. But yeah, you want to call me that? What? But then they also want to say that the Democratic Party were for slavery, but it's just like, honey, you got to follow the history of that. Because when the party switched, yes, it's like the Democrat side, past tense. They switched parties. So the same people that were on the Democrat side are now on the Republican side. And the Republicans are now on the Democrat side. Because especially even around the 60s, I think that was when the Republican churches were like, ooh, okay, we need a cause. We need to have a bigger group. So that's how abortion became a big thing. Yeah, so it's like they want to try to say really stupid, idiotic things about history, but then they don't really know much about the history. It's like then they tell me to do my research. Then they turn around and tell me to do my research when they hardly know any of it. They only know what either their pastors have said or their daddies or parents have said. Yeah. They don't read or look at the articles or watch documentaries. No, no, no. They don't do any of that. Or they listen to their red pilled person and listen to anything and everything they have said. No. No. But then when I give them the .gov, when I tell them and show them the voting of a lot of these transactions within our Congress and things, they don't want to believe that. They say I'm making it up, but it's from the .gov. It's from the literal website where they record all of the voting. And it's just crazy how they tell me I'm lying, but I give them the evidence, and it's just. And then even the recordings of the Orange Man talking about how he used to walk in on nude women in the dressing rooms and stuff, and he got to have the excuse that he owns it, so that's how he could walk in there. And then even with the Epstein thing, now a lot of these MAGA people that used to say, "Oh well, I will never vote, and I will never be against, I will never be for somebody that blah 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 blah." But now that they're slowly finding out that they voted for that exact type of person, possibly, maybe a smidge, maybe. But now they're backing it up. At least they weren't 8. They were 15, not 8. Mhm. Mhm. So basically, with this video, while I was listening to it, it just kind of reminded me of the debates and things, and also how a lot of men, like with the screenshots, have like tried to dehumanize and taunt me, harass me, ridicule me, and just oh, how disgusting they are. But when it comes to the homeless community, we need to help them out. Minimum wage, we need to lift it. With the male epidemic, oh my God, yes. It's like we have so much work that we need to do, especially when it comes to we need more good examples on social media because the Republicans were smart back in the day. They did take over social media, making sure that people heard their views. That's one reason why so many, like that Rogan guy, is so popular. And that's another reason why when I talk to guys, I ask them, do you watch that podcast? If they say yes, I know not to date them. I mean, that, like, right there, that's a great sign for me to not date somebody. Once they say that they watch that, no, thank you. No, we're not a match. We're not, no, no. But it's really funny, even how that guy, the Rogan guy, whatever, yeah, he's been slowly coming into, it's like he won't say he's woke, but he's slowly getting out of his nap. He's slowly kind of waking up. It's kind of funny and entertaining. I will watch the snippets from progressives and Democrats about it because it is kind of, it is more than kind of, it's really entertaining because watching him and then watching his demographic, now a lot of them are so upset with him. How dare he? Yeah, it's interesting. I'm petty. But yeah, watch, like, yeah, I've posted the video in both of these episodes, and so many of the issues I've been talking about for how long. I have so many episodes about each one. I just did, or and I still never posted episode 6 of Yes, I'm Patty, about the We Blame the Poor When It Should Be the Rich series. Yeah, so I'm gonna have that because part, like half of it wouldn't upload right, so I have to redo it, but it's not a problem. And it's going to be like, well, you know what? Hey, it's not a homework assignment. I can turn it in whenever I want to on here. It's my channel. But yeah, I'm going to be covering a lot more things, especially politics and with dating, because since I am uploading so many of these screenshots now and going down memory lane, which you guys should check it out because as I said, I have at least 1,000. And then also, I will be talking about the whole, Wicked for Good cast and what happened with that disgusting jerk who should be, like, he should be banned from all entertainment events, period. But now a lot of people are trying to emasculate one of the people. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. I'm going to talk about that very soon. But thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too.